Okay, so here's stage one of what I've done to help sort out my back in about 3 days. I got ongoing issues with my lower back and my mid back, but I've learned now a couple of things that help me get back out of pain and back to movement pretty quickly. So this is stage one. First movement, supine breathing. What we want to do is get the nervous system to calm down so you're not spasming so much. So we just need to breathe into our ribs to get the rib cage moving and let everything else relax. So you're just going to lay flat on your back, cushion behind your head if you need to. I want you to put your hands just on your rib cage so your fingers are nearly touching. Just want you to completely relax, and I want you to breathe into your ribs so you feel your hands kind of move apart from each other. So in long and slow through the nose. And then when you blow out, imagine you're trying to blow out candles. And you want the exhale to be very long until you've got no air left in your lungs at all. And you should feel your fingers almost come back together again after the inhale. So again, inhale. Opening up as much of this as possible, and then keep exhaling. Okay, you're going to do 10 of those, and on the exhale you're almost letting everything completely relax and sink. The only movement we want really are through our ribs and maybe a little bit through our lower abs, particularly on the exhale. Get the rib cage moving, which helps everything in the upper body start to feel a lot safer and start to get some controlled, confident, relaxed movement. Movement 2. Now if we got our upper body to relax and got our rib cage moving, we now want to get our pelvis moving. What happens when I get these flare-ups is my pelvis just locks up, particularly on my left side, and it just does not want to move. So I need to introduce some really small, really gentle movements, because this is all sending signals to your nervous system that it's okay to move. The pain that I feel isn't that there's necessarily an injury, a traumatic injury. It's just my nervous system does not feel safe. So it locks something up and it's giving me pain because it doesn't want me to move. I need to prove to my nervous system that it's actually okay to move, and you can only do that with very small, relaxed movements to start with. So think of your pelvis like a bowl of water, and we're trying to basically tilt it forward slightly and tilt it backward slightly. But it's important that this movement comes through the pelvis and not just arching your lower back, then pushing your lower back into the floor. So it's a good idea to place your hands around your pelvis so you're almost guiding it. So same position as the breathing. Hands on the pelvic bones there, you'll feel them. And I'm trying to guide forwards and backwards. Match your breathing to the movement here. So I'm going to inhale as I tilt forwards. Then I'm going to exhale as I tilt backwards. All controlled. These aren't big movements. So in, out. In, tilt forwards. Out, tilt backwards. I'm not trying to tilt as far as possible, and to start with you might get very little movement through here. That's fine. It's just tiny little movements to start with. No pain, no discomfort. This should help release tension in that whole pelvic complex, so your nervous system feels safe to layer on more movements on top of that. So on to movement 3, which is our rock back breathing and hip movements. So now we're introducing some movement through the pelvic, through the hip joint. When you do this, I want to imagine you've got a bowl of water in the middle of your back and you don't want that bowl of water to spill. So again, we're not looking for massive ranges of motion. We're just looking to be able to move purely through the hip joint. So our spine stays very flat, moving back and forth. It shouldn't round or arch. We're just going to move through the hip complex. Cushion under your knees if you need to. Breathing again, we're going to match the breathing to the movement. I'm going to exhale as I rock back, and I'm going to inhale as I rock forwards. So I'm imagining that bowl of water is in the middle of my back. As I breathe in, I'm trying to almost breathe into my ribs outwards. So breathe in. And as I exhale, so I'm only moving through the hip joint. Then inhale as I come back. Exhale as I go back. Another thing to think about this particular movement is imagine your spine getting longer. So as I'm sending my hips back, I'm imagining I'm trying to send the middle of my head, top of my head, in the opposite direction. Not arching, I'm just trying to make my spine longer. So as I send my hips back, I'm trying to send my head in that direction. So we're almost trying to get that spine longer and longer whilst moving through the hip joint. This movement is about getting our nervous system to feel safe moving through the hip, so it releases tension in the lower back and the pelvis, which is what, like I said, what I get. Everything locks up. So if I can get the hip joint moving within the socket, that will help release tension and pressure from the whole pelvic area and pelvic complex itself. Okay, fourth and last movement for this stage, the cat-cow. So I'm now we've got the hips a bit more mobile, the ribs a bit more open. Now we want to get the spine itself moving because it's designed to. It's got 33 joints for a reason. But like I said, as my pelvis and lower back locks up, it stops. It doesn't want your spine to move. So a lot of the pain we feel is just signals from your nervous system that it does not feel safe. So we need to reintroduce this movement gently so the nervous system chills. So again, we're starting in that all fours position. So for this one, as I breathe in, I'm trying to send the middle of my upper back up to the ceiling, and you will naturally start to curve down here and tuck the pelvis under. So I'm going to breathe in there, and I'm trying to breathe in to my upper back. A lot of people call it turtle shell breathing. I'm trying to create a tortoise shell as I breathe in. So breathe in. Then as I exhale, and I'm going to let everything drop back down. I'm not going to force myself into an arch. I'm just going into a slightly rounded position that feels comfortable. Again, breathe in. I'm trying to breathe into my whole upper back and ribs, and then breathe out. And as this starts to feel more comfortable, you can then start introducing a bit more of a chest lift and a bit more of a butt lift. Okay, compared to that one, which is the opposite, where I'm trying to tuck my butt under slightly and I'm trying to push and inflate my upper back as much as I can. So we're basically trying to go from a flexed spine, a rounded spine, into an extended spine. Your spine is designed to do these two movements, but when you get this pain like I've had the last couple of days, it doesn't want to. So I'm just convincing my nervous system, this is okay. We can go into this slightly rounded position, slightly arched position. And as it starts to feel better, you make that movement a millimeter bigger, and not forcing anything. We just want to get the nervous system to agree, to chill out, to let you get into these positions.